All right. Sorry for the delay, but technology is not always the greatest. I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Morton County Commission on October 10th, 2024. It is 5:39. We are going to start off with our 4-H archery national team leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Thank you, ladies. Next on the agenda will be the roll call. Commissioner Morrell?
Here.
Commissioner Buckley?
Here.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself, Commissioner Boehm. Commissioner Langang is absent tonight. We also have Auditor Roan and State's Attorney Copy in the room. Next will be the approval of the agenda. And right off the top, under Other, after the Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority, I'm going to add we need to talk about our State Fair representative, State Fair meeting. Does anyone have any other additions or corrections to the agenda?
Can I announce it's National 4-H Week?
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing, Mr. Chairman. It's National 4-H Week.
It's a perfect time for these guys to come and give us a
Yep.
presentation. So, do we have an approval with the correction for the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda is amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the previous meeting on September 24th, 2024.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the September 24, 2024 meeting. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I had bills this month, a couple phone calls to clear a couple things up, but everything seems to be in order, so I would move that we approve the bills and payroll for this month.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve bills and payroll for this first part of October. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckley?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself is yes. Motion carries. All right, we're going to keep moving right on into our agenda, and we're going to have our two young ladies from the 4-H Archery Club come on up. So just a little background for those that are listening or for in the audience. We donated a little bit of funding for them to take their national trip, and they're back. We asked them to come back and report to us, and they're here to do that.
You guys ready? We are here on the behalf of your 2024 National 4-H Shooting Sports Team of North Dakota. I'm Kendra Boehm.
I'm Ellie Bardman, and we also had James McGrath on our team, but he was unable to make it tonight. We learned a lot of things at National Archery, including the importance of teamwork and communication over the weeks we spent practicing and the week we spent down in Grand Island. We noticed the importance of team building, and we got to meet a lot of new people down there and share our experiences of how they run 4-H and how they run 4-H archery in their states, and it was just a really cool experience to have had.
So overall, how I did on the first day, I shot a 680 out of 720th, placing me 11th out of 92 shooters. And on day, I shot a 256 out of 280, leaving me to place 12th, but I tied for 10th. And then On day 3, I've shot a 198 out of 330, placing 42nd. But overall, I placed 16th out of 92 shooters nationally.
So over these days too, we shot 3 different types of targets, FIDA, field, and 3D. And those 2 first targets are just paper faces, and the other one is foam animals that we all shot at different distances. So day 1, I shot a 639 out of 720, and a 227 out of 280, and a 185 out of 330, and I was left 57 out of 92 shooters.
Overall, James placed, oh gosh, I don't know. He placed 50th on the first day and 66th on the second, and on the third day he did place 22nd, which was the top for the day for our team, and overall he placed 50th out of 92 shooters for the national-wise.
Some of our key takeaways and things that we learned there were just the importance of sportsmanship. There was some instances of like cheating, things like that, but we pushed through that, learned the importance of sportsmanship and developing our skills and the importance of practice beforehand. It was really hot down there. Water's important. Learned that.
She's speaking from personal experience.
Yeah.
Did you get sick?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Day 1. Yep. But it was all right. We recovered.
Some of the connections we can make from shooting sports to agriculture are just the emphasizing on the precision and the dedication that everybody uses in their field to be accurate and to be precise. Something that this does impact Morton County as a whole is we represented Morton County, we also represented North Dakota, and that is, we represented them in a positive way, we shot well, we behaved in well-mannered decisions, and I think this highlights a really big program of Morton County and highlights a really big opportunity for more students and kids to come along and join us. So, we would just like to thank you, your North Dakota archery team, for nationals.
Thank you for allowing us to go to nationals and making that happen. So,
Do you guys have any questions?
I have one, and for everybody, this is the second time I've seen him speak. Talk about, you're in college now at U Mary, and Ellie, you're looking at college. Does that any of the archery stuff carrying over to college? I know the answer, but everybody else doesn't.
Archery for me is helping me play into college because it's helping me that hard work and precision does pay off, and it might take a lot to get to where you want to go, but the practice is worth it and the studying is worth it. It helps you get better grades, and I think it connects. But shooting archery also gave me a really open wide to, I'm willing to go communicate, I'm willing to go meet more people, I'm willing to go to those events to meet more people, and I think I'm going to join some of the student organizations on campus with leadership, and I think archery has helped me get into that position and role.
I would totally agree with what Kendra said, and I guess, I don't know, I'd like to see more colleges have archery teams and like shooting sports teams in general, because I think it's a really important skill and something that would be fun to carry over into that next stage of life.
I know that Bismarck State has started a team. Are you thinking about going to school, Ellie, at a college where you can compete?
I'm
Or don't-
not for sure on that. If it's something they have, that it would be a benefit, but it's not something I'm stuck on doing. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
How about James? Do you know if he's
He's going into trade school, so I
Oh,
think he's
okay.
going to be an
Yeah.
electrician, so
okay?
I remember
I
he
can
said
definitely
he's.
see him keep shooting and hunting.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
On the 4-H perspective, what you learned down at this national competition, what can you bring back to the club, much less the youth?
I think just bringing back that aspect of like meeting other states and maybe using that to improve our own club, and even just the experience that we learned shooting and taking those months of practice to come back and be able to coach the younger kids and help them develop those skills and do the same thing.
I can add on that while we were down there, we made lots of different friends from different states, and their programs are ran totally different than how we run ours here in North Dakota. Once they do qualify for nationals, they have certain practices that they have to go through sportsmanship trainings, and I think that's something I would like to see implemented in North Dakota, because there is some rough sportsmanship within North Dakota and just not great team bonding skills. And I think that would help us as we send more kids down to nationals, but just within our own community and within the counties that we compete against here state-wise.
Cool. Thank you.
Got a question?
How did you enjoy going to get other donations and visiting with the business owners?
I think it's a great way for us to network. So looking at it networking wise, it establishes lots of connections and just gets us out in the community. And it also brings in the Morton County and the shooting sports and 4-H out into the community and to get business owners to work alongside with these programs that are upcoming with the youth, especially supporting the youth as they're going to represent the state and the county.
Ms. Ellie, how'd you like it?
I thought it was enjoyable. I like going out and talking to people, and I do think the aspect of like, I feel like there's people who don't necessarily know about 4-H, and even just being like, or even archery, or that we have a 4-H archery program, and kind of telling them about that and letting them know what we do is fun. It's nice to get out in the community.
Thank you.
Anything else? Oh, thank you, ladies. Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your work down there. All right, moving along, Mr. LaFleur. You only got a couple for us tonight, it looks like.
Yep, just two for you. Don't ask me any of those hard questions. The first one up is Homestead Abatement 6639. This comes from City of Mandan for 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I would move we approve homestead credit number, or abatement number 6639 for a homestead credit for the city of Mandan.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve abatement 6639 for 2023 City of Mandan homestead abatement. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Next one up is abatement 6640. This was an appeal at the Morton County Board of Equalization for a residence just to the west of town. The residents sat on one parcel and then there was 2 vacant lots, but they were sold as a package. So I assisted this owner with combining those 3 lots into one, which results in a lower land value than having each of the separate lots have their own land values. So this abatement is to reduce the land value for 2024 as a result of that appeal to the Morton County Board of Equalization.
I remember that discussion. Mr. Chair, I have a motion to approve abatement number 6640 for full reassessment.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve abatement 6640 as approval of the 2024 reassessment as a result of an appeal at the BOE. One question, is this gonna, combining those lots doesn't take anything back to Natalie as far as zoning or any P&Z stuff, does it?
No, they've already been zoned. The 3 lots were all zoned as residential. So
Okay.
now they're just combined
It's
into
just a
one
combined
residential
lot.
lot.
Okay.
So he had a garage on one of the lots and the other one was
Yep.
vacant, so now that brings the garage and the house together.
Got it.
And that vacant lot just becomes
I do
one yard.
remember that one. It's just making sure we didn't have anything else to clean up. Any other discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Next up, Nancy Seefeld, our recorder. And you were elected, so I should have announced you as at the beginning too, so sorry about that.
Right. Good evening, Chairman Boehm and Commissioners. I am here tonight to ask for approval for out-of-state travel to the National PRIA Symposium in San Antonio, Texas. Conference dates are March 4th through 6th, 2025. The approximate cost would be $2,000, which was included in my budget I submitted for the 2025 year.
I got that registration out early.
I haven't registered yet.
Oh,
Like to
okay.
try to look for plane tickets. Do you have any questions? Or
Commissioners have any questions for Nancy?
this would be my third year attending.
Were you on the board or anything? You were on one of them, weren't you? Or
I
it
was on the North Dakota Recorders
Recorders,
Association
okay.
board. I'm now
But not with the national yet.
not national, no.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the Morton County Recorder to travel to the PRIA Symposium in San Antonio, Texas.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the travel for Morton County Recorder Nancy Seafeld to attend the National PRIA Symposium in San Antonio, Texas, March 4th through the 6th, 2025. Is there any other discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next, we have Natalie. You guys are all ready to roll.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chair Boehm. I was going to make one note about the tax parcel question. So it's not infrequent that the tax office will combine on the parcel map multiple parcels into one tax parcel to make it, for whatever reasons they may have. That doesn't change the legal boundary of the lots, and we
Okay.
still would treat those as separate lots. And they do, as Don had mentioned, I don't think that they would do that in a case where they didn't have uniform zoning. That
Okay,
would be problematic, yeah.
so that's what I was wondering, because does it stay as 3 lots for
Right.
you?
Yes.
But for them, that's one taxable
One taxable
lot.
tax parcel.
Parcel.
Yes, not legal parcel.
Got it.
Yeah, so I just
Okay.
wanted to make that note.
Well,
Okay.
I was just trying to make sure we didn't have to clear up
Yes.
something else.
Thank you. Okay, our first item is the Ambulance Butte Telecommunication Tower Special Use Permit. This is in the southeast quarter of Section 22, Township 136 North, Range 80 West. Applicants are the American Tower Corporation and the estate of Eugene Haworth. This is located about 3 miles due south of Huff Hills. So the impetus for this, the tower company wanted to swap out equipment. Generally, we don't make them get any kind of zoning entitlement or do zoning work for like equipment swap. But I discovered that the county did not have any permit on file, not a building permit, no zoning work for this tower. So I encourage them to just go ahead and apply for a special use permit so that that is on file, so they will never run into an issue again. The tower has been on the site since the 1990s. It's a 184-foot tower. So you can see it's a large parcel. I think in your packet, you had the spec sheet. So they have their access easement to get up to the tower, and then specs for the tower in the packet. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval. I can take any questions. One of their big issues that they want to get their 911 address, and I told them, please go through your permitting, and then we can certainly give you that. So we will make sure they get one.
Yeah, they cut across right here. It's too bad they couldn't come right in. Commissioners have any questions for Natalie on this one?
Ready for a motion? I move to recommend approval of the special use permit for a telecommunications tower in the southeast quarter of Section 22, Township 136 North, Range 80 West, as the existing tower meets the specific use standards required by Section 5-190 of the Morton County Land Use Code, and the tower company will be eligible for a 911 address.
Second.
Okay, I will not repeat that. It has been moved and seconded to approve the special use permit for the telecommunications tower south of Mandan. I'm gonna just shorten it up, Natalie, you got the right stuff. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Our second item is the Miller subdivision. This is in the southeast quarter of section 24, township 135 north, range 80 west. The applicants are John, Joyce, Kevin, and Christy Miller. This is about 3 miles north of Flasher. Everything around it is zoned agricultural and prioritized for agricultural in the future land use plan. So this is 4 acres. It would be, it's kind of hard to see on here, but these lines, so that'd be 1 parcel, lot 1. This would be lot 2. They have an existing home, or sorry, 2 existing homes, 1 on each parcel. They're just breaking off those parcels from the rest of the section to entitle those lots. This was an auditor's lot. It was, it was an auditor's lot, so they're just bringing it into conformity. They do have an existing well on lot 2 that the 2 houses share. They have a backup well on that same lot, on lot 2. And then they have a 3rd well that is on the parent parcel. But they said that they do have good water, so if somebody needed to drill another well, it's probably likely that they will have a fine time doing that. And Western Plains Public Health did not have any concerns about septic. They thought the lots are fine, big enough. So Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the short form subdivision and zoning map amendment from ag to residential. And I can take questions.
To Natalie, that actually is easier to see than all your colored ones.
That's why I put that up there.
Commissioners have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, you ready for a
I
motion?
am ready. Nobody else is saying anything.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the short form subdivision known as Miller subdivision and a zoning map amendment from agricultural to residential as the subdivision conforms to the regulations established in Article 7 of the Morton County Land Use Code and confirms to the land use priorities established in the 2045 Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the final plat of the short form subdivision known as Miller subdivision and a zoning map amendment from agricultural to residential. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
This is our 3rd item. This is the Liar subdivision in the northeast quarter of section 34, township 140 north, range 82 west. The applicants are Anton and Kathy Liar. This is located south of 35th Street. So this is Highway 25 going up here. This is Western Edge first. Go here, and then the subject property is right here. So it was, or it is an auditor's lot. They would like to put up an additional structure. In order to be eligible for a building permit, they need to bring the lot into conformity and subdivide it appropriately. As part of this, they are going to be transferring a little sliver of land here, a sliver of land here, because they found out that one of their structures is not entirely on their property. This is why we have people go through this exercise. So they will have a separate exhibit that will transfer that property, and then these slivers will be consolidated in the plat that you have before you. So that would consolidate those 2 pieces together and bring it into conformity. So there are a number of non-conforming lots that are zoned residential in this quarter, but officially this would be the 4th entitled lot in this quarter. So that is in compliance with our priorities in the long-range plan. So Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the short form subdivision and zoning map amendment. I can take any questions.
Next to 'em. There's 1, 2. Yeah, this one, 3, 4.
You ready? Go ahead, Ann. Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman, you're ready for
Yep.
a motion. Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve the short form subdivision known as the Lear subdivision and a zoning map amendment from agricultural to residential as the subdivision conforms to the regulations established in Article 7 of the Morton County Land Use Code and reasonably conforms to the land use priorities established in the 2045 Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the short form subdivision known as the Lear subdivision and a zoning map amendment from agricultural to residential. Is there any other discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And then I'll just say for board awareness, we did have our first meeting of the CO2 DAC facility subcommittee on Tuesday. Got into a really meaty discussion right away, a lot of information. We've got a lot left to go through, but have gotten through certain decisions about what we think will make sense, and put those together and have that consolidated for the next meeting, which will be the week before Thanksgiving. So just chugging right along.
Yeah, keep me up to date on the dates too,
Yes,
please.
absolutely.
Thank you.
I am posting all of the meetings out on the news and information page, the P&Z page of the Morton County website. So, and interested parties have, I think, kind of gotten trained to go look there. So I'm putting meeting dates out there.
Okay, I'm not trained,
I
I'm not
will-
trained yet, but
No,
I'll
but
get there.
I will send them to, but for the general public, they can go there.
I train, I'm just a little slow.
Thursday, November 21st.
Yes, 1:30 again,
1:30.
at the Highway Department.
November 21st.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. John, our county engineer.
Nice job on TV last night, John.
Oh, my, thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Good evening, Commissioners and Auditor Roan. I'm here before you today requesting approval for out-of-state travel for 4 of our employees to attend the Local Roads Conference in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This year, we're planning on sending Chad Schneider, our road superintendent, Daryl Keller, our dirt foreman, Ross Hansen in the sign department, and Randy Black, one of our operators who's in the flasher shop. Randy is he is a first-time attendee. Due to a conflict this year, this falls the same week as the North Dakota Association of Counties, so I'm going to stay behind and attend the NDACO conference in Bismarck. The cost will be is all budgeted. Registration is $125 per person and 2 nights of lodging at $119 per person per night. Unfortunately, we have to provide our own transportation, as we had done in the past. We'd always ridden the bus, but due to declining ridership and increasing costs, they have no longer continue the bus. So our people will take one of our expeditions and head down there for this event. So with that, I'm open to any questions you may have.
You said this was budgeted already?
This is budgeted, yeah. We have this under
Very much.
out-of-state travel, but we also look at it as a training event because there's a lot of good presentations and there's a lot to be learned from visiting with other people in other states. There are now 10 states that are part of this group, and they have representatives from all 10 states attend this. So.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to authorize out-of-state travel to South Dakota for Chad Schneider, Daryl Keller, Ross Hansen, and Randy Black to attend the 39th Annual Local Roads Conference in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, October 21st through the 23rd.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve out-of-state travel for Chad Schneider, Daryl Keller, Ross Hansen, and Randy Black to attend the 39th Annual Local Roads Conference in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, October 21st through the 23rd, 2024. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John. Now I'll sign off on the bill.
Okay.
All right, Patrick, We're ready.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman Boehm, Auditor Roan. So I come before you tonight at the request of rural fire chiefs in the county. They're requesting a burn ban and declaration of fire emergency within the county. This came, I believe it was Tuesday we started the conversation, and basically all the chiefs in the county are in favor of that. So we basically wrote up a declaration very similar to declarations in the past. Basically what we're doing is banning any open burning. I do believe the declaration should be in your packets. The only change between my submission to for the packet is we just changed the title for fire emergency and burn ban. I think in your packets it has burn restrictions, so that would be the only change.
This one says burn ban.
Oh, it does, okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Nope.
And this burn ban will be in effect until the end of the year, which is typical.
Yep.
Once they're instituted.
Just real quick, Patrick,
Yes.
and it just caught this as I looked at it. On top, we says fire emergency and burn ban. Then when you get right below your box, it says a penalty for violation of this burn restriction.
Okay.
So I don't know, do we want to change that, or is that close enough? Is that okay? To me, a ban is a restriction, right?
Yeah.
That's where I would go with it. I just wanted to make sure we're clear on that. I think I'm okay with it if everybody, if Mr. Copy is and everybody else.
Yep.
Okay, just clearing it up. Okay,
Sure.
we're
Thank
good
you.
then. Anybody have any questions for Patrick?
Mr. Chair, Patrick, what's your plans for getting the message out to the public?
So as soon, if the commission approves, I will get a press release out this evening. Soon as it'll be done. I have it written up already and ready to go. So then I'll send the document out to our chiefs group, and as well as the city auditors throughout the county.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion then?
Mr. Chair, I move that we implement the declaration of fire emergency and burn ban restrictions for 2024 and resolution that is being proposed.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the declaration of fire emergency and burn ban for 2024. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. I'll sign them quick so you can go to work. That one. That's all you need. Thank you. All right. Moving on, Mr. Nielsen.
Good evening, Commissioners, Auditor Roan, Chairman Boehm. I am here in front of you to speak about the two policies that have been approved by the Park Board. So without insulting anybody's intelligence, I'm not gonna go through and read these. I will ask if anybody has any questions, concerns. Like I say, these have been run through the Park Board. We've made some corrections, some additions, a little bit of subtraction, and this is the finished product.
I think, what was it, at 3 meetings? We had it come before the park board? I think it was
Yes.
3. That
Two
we-
meetings.
Was it just
Yeah,
2?
two for sure.
We had some adjustments in there. And,
Mr. Chair, my only,
and it is policy.
Right.
So it can be changed at any time if we have to, so.
my only suggestion, understanding we're both on the park board and we both went through
Yep.
this, but for future note, Tim, when you bring forward a policy change, have the markup shows what's being changed,
Absolutely.
so the other commissioners have that same awareness.
My bad.
Well, Ray, it could have been in red, but black and white doesn't show.
Could have been. I don't see any strikeouts. though.
They might have been there, we don't know.
I got it highlighted in yellow.
Got the Belinda. That would have been a color map, right?
With that,
I told her to go black and white because they're so big. And it's a lot of-
Uh-huh.
from a penny to 26 cents, that's
Yeah, it's a
adds up.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we adopt policy number 1000-001 for use of picnic shelters and policy 1000-002 park vendor policy.
Second.
All right, it's been moved to adopt policy 1000-001, use of picnic shelters, and 1000-002, park vendor policy for the Morton County Park District. Is there any discussion?
Again, just to reiterate, these are updates of the existing policies.
Yep. Any other discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Auditor Roan, we have delinquent tax properties, sale prices.
So our delinquent property tax sale per North Dakota Century Code is always on the third Tuesday of November, which is just a little more than a month away here. So we just need these minimum sale prices approved. So in your packet is the list of parcels that are currently still delinquent. So just a reminder, if any taxpayer that's delinquent comes in prior to October 1st, they can
November
just.
1st.
No, October 1st.
Oh, October. So
They,
that's
ca-
passed.
yep, they just have to pay the most delinquent year, so it's just 1 year of taxes, the 3 years ago, and then they get removed off the list. And then on October 1st, any that are not paid, we foreclose on and actually deed to the county, a tax deed to the county. And now at this point, if any of these property taxpayers come in to redeem their property, they have to pay all 3 years of delinquent taxes plus an estimated amount. No, I don't think they have to pay the estimated amount. They just have to pay the 3 years of delinquent taxes. So these could possibly come off the list before sale day. But our minimum price for the sale is the 3 years of delinquent taxes along with any fees and so forth, interest. And then we estimate what this current year's taxes will be, and that's how we come up with the total, which is the most right column there, and that will be the starting minimum bid for that parcel. And per century code, the county commission has to approve these minimum sale prices.
That would be the total on the far
Yes.
far right.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I just want to add in some comments regarding what Auditor Roan had said, because I don't know how many other commissioners do, but I get a few people come up and ask questions about the delinquent properties, property taxes. And again, reiterating that this is 3 consecutive years of not paying property taxes. And that's what causes them to go into delinquency. If they have a renter in there, again, this is a charge against the person that owns the property. So again, that's the one question that comes into play, is people think that other people are being kicked out of the house. 9 times out, well, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but oftentimes some of these properties are vacant as well. Not always the case, but due diligence has been given to the property owners acknowledging or informing them that they are delinquent for 3 years.
And Commissioner, or Chairman, I may add to that. Century Code spells out when we need to, the Treasurer's Office always sends out notices of delinquent property. And per Century Code, when it comes time for us to get this list ready in May, we send out a notice via the Sheriff's Department. And if the taxpayer owns property here, but they live in a different county, we send the notice if there's a house on the property. If it's vacant property, we don't have the sheriff serve it, but anything with a house on it, we have Sheriff's Department serve the notice to them, and that's the only thing we really need to do per Century Code. But I also send anybody who's on the list, probably I think we do it in September, we send them a letter via mail reminding them that if they have up till October 1st to pay that 1 year of taxes to get off the list. And now after October 1st, we sheriff serve all these again with houses and say, hey, we now foreclosed on your property. You have until sale date to come in and pay. So I do send 2 additional notices out that are not required by Century Code just to make sure these people are aware of what's happening. I mean, you'd think when a sheriff serves you the first time that you would be aware, but there has been instances in the past where it really doesn't light a fire, but selling their property does. So I'm trying to give them a little more notices, and hopefully something will light a fire so that they come in here and pay their taxes before a sale date.
Pay the 3rd year out.
Yeah, it's much easier for them if they can do it before October 1st and
Yeah,
just have to
right.
pay 1 year. Now they got to pay 3 years, and you can see there's some hefty ones on here.
Yeah.
So that being said, again, understand we got definite, every effort is made to give communication. We're not forcibly removing people. They've been given communication. Make a motion to approve the annual, the sale prices presented for the delinquent tax property sale.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minimum sale price for delinquent tax properties. Is there any other discussion? Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
there's been a lot of stuff on the news about this and saying that we're taking their property away and actually not, so.
It's given every opportunity.
For 3 years.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move into.
Chairman, can I add one more thing?
Yes.
Just for anybody listening and for your guys' information, just a reminder that absentee ballots are available. We must receive an signed application from a voter before we can send out a ballot. We have early voting starting over at the library on Wednesday, the 23rd of October. And on weekdays, that goes 9 to 6, and Saturdays from 9 to 3. With the exception of the day before the election, it stops at 5 p.m. So just go over to the Morton Van Dan Library with your ID and you can vote there rather than, if you preferred that, rather than on election day. Election day polls will be open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can go to vote.nd.gov to find your polling place. And if you have a absentee ballot, reminder that the post office has told us that it's taking 7 days. Expect 7 days for a delivery within the city even. So those ballots must be
Wouldn't come out.
postmarked by the day before the election, which is Monday the 4th, but I wouldn't wait till that day because it could be highly likely that we wouldn't receive the ballot back until after 13 days later when the canvassing board meets, and if the ballot is not here prior to canvassing board meeting, that ballot will not be counted no matter what the date of postmark is. So get those absentee ballots in as soon as you can. They can also be dropped off. We have a drop box out in front of the courthouse, right off the sidewalk in the front. There is one in the alley, or you can bring it in and just hand it to security or bring it to our window also.
Lots of options. Okay, Next up is the Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority program. And I'm not sure who wants to talk.
Well, Mr. Chairman, Natalie sent the notice to me that wanted to know if we wanted to discuss it at the meeting. I proceeded to send it to you. And so I see we have a lot of stuff in our packet about it.
Yep. Commissioner Zachmeyer was able to contact, I think it was MPO or some other people,
Metropolitan Planning Organization.
and get us a whole lot of information, which I had a chance to flip through here shortly before the meeting, but have not studied it at all in the detail that I would like to.
Mr. Chairman, the Metropolitan Planning Organization staff has been studying this. And there was a presentation at, because it is my portfolio, but at Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting. And at the one, they had representatives of the Big Sky Rail Authority there. I think that the best option for this would be to put this on the agenda for the next meeting, postpone this agenda item until the next meeting and make it the last item on the agenda, and vote and invite Metropolitan Planning Organization staff to come and do this presentation. I feel more confident in the Metropolitan Planning Organization staff presenting this than I do the Big Sky Rail Authority. The Big Sky Rail Authority is all out of Montana, and they have their own agenda is correct. They just need North Dakota buy-in to try to achieve their agenda. The Metropolitan Planning Organization is local. I believe they will present this in a more fair manner. And I think we should put this off to the next meeting and invite them here to give the presentation. The $30 that was listed here, that's only best case scenario. Metropolitan Planning or the Big Sky Rail Authority is asking $6,000. And now they're putting that request through to Metropolitan Planning Organization, and then there was certain ways to pay for it, which would then mean Morton County's contribution would be $30 in best case scenario. Worst case scenario is $250, and this is only for a one-year subscription to the Big Sky Rail Authority. And that is why I think we should have Metropolitan Planning Organization come over and visit about it. Because they will definitely be able to tell you the ins and the outs and how to finance this. Furthermore, we don't have anything budgeted in 2024 or 2025, and nothing is stopping Big Sky Rail Authority to come to us directly and ask for another $6,000. So I think we should have Metropolitan Planning Organization staff come over and present on this, and we can make our decision from there. And then it's looking for a recommendation vote. And that would be a vote I'd be required to carry to the Metropolitan Planning Organization based on the commission's wishes.
Any further discussion?
What's the ask? Just a buy-in?
Right now it's a buy-in. But when I first saw this, my first thought is that they're coming and asking us for $6,000 too. And that they're gonna go to every single jurisdiction all the way up and down basically the I-94 corridor and ask for $6,000 from every single elected board. And I thought this should be through Metropolitan Planning Organization first. Nothing stopping them that I can see from coming and asking for $6,000 from this board and $6,000 from Metropolitan Planning Organization. Then go to each, Bismarck, Burley, Lincoln, Mandan, and then start breaking out into all the other towns. You can go into their county and their city asking $6,000 from both. That gets to be some serious money statewide. And then if they're gonna go to the planning organizations, then are they gonna start going to the convention and visitors bureaus and asking them for $6,000? Me personally, it would look like that every time they get somebody that buys into them, they put them down that they are absolutely for this project. Instead of that they were just membership. Either way, I think Metropolitan Planning Organization should present on this.
Any other discussion?
So would it just be consensus, would
I
everybody
think it would be
agree?
a consensus. If nobody else has any discussion on the matter right now, what do you,
Yeah,
we know where Commissioner Zachmeyer's at. How about Commissioner Morrell?
nope, I'm fine. Let them come in.
Commissioner Buckley,
Fine,
you're fine with
yep,
that? I'm good too. So let's ask Don, put them on the agenda at the end of the meeting next month.
It'd be
MPO,
the end of October, because
next
they need
meeting.
they need
at the end of this month, yep.
correct. Because when I visited with them, they said they would like to have a decision
In November.
by the end of October for the November meeting. And the paperwork that needs to be filled out, we couldn't do it the first meeting in November, even though it's before the planning and, or Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting, because of paperwork that has to be filled out.
Okay.
Because they have some summit, big activity that's taking place,
Yeah, it's
that
in
I
No-
recall. I
in
hit their
November.
website every once in a while.
They have a big meeting in
Yep.
November.
Yep.
But they need that, they need to know by the end of the month, and they said they would make every opportunity to be here at the meeting at the end of October.
Okay. I think if that's consensus, then we put them on the agenda at the end of October at our next meeting. And have them do the ask and the explanation. Okay? Sounds good. Next item was the item that I added. Got, have a letter from the North Dakota State Fair in my mail today. The appointment of the North Dakota State Fair delegate. I know that is my portfolio, November 20th. I'm not even sure right now if it's going, and I know I talked to Commissioner Buckley if she would be interested. And I think she said yes.
I was just looking at my calendar. It's the 20th? I didn't
Yep.
have a date.
November 20th at 1 PM at the State Fair Center. And it's a Wednesday. And I would just as soon not, because I'm out the day before and after.
Okay.
So,
Well, if I can, John left already, if we can have road commission, I can call in, I'll be okay.
okay. So if that's the case, then we need to have a motion to appoint,
Make a motion, we appoint Commissioner Buckley as the Morton County representative to the State Fair Association annual meeting.
Second,
okay. Thank you. It's
Or is
been
it-
moved and seconded to
Or is
have
it the North Dakota Fair Association?
No, it's State Fair
State
annual
Fair.
meeting.
State
Yep.
Fair annual meeting, yep. It's been moved and seconded to appoint Commissioner Buckley to attend the State Fair Association annual meeting as our county commission representative. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jackie. And Don, they ask that, I'll give this to you, they ask
Yeah, I
that we
have to
send a
send a
letter
letter,
to
yeah.
them, so,
Is it in Minot?
yes.
Okay.
State Fair Center.
Yeah, it's at the FFA Center up there.
Okay.
Does any commissioner have anything else good for the order?
So I do have a question, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman. Our next meeting is October 22nd, right?
My calendar's gone there. I look over there every time.
We gotta get another one up there.
Because that's when the Association of Counties meeting is?
Yes. It works perfect for me.
But it ends at like 2 o'clock. that
It's
day.
done at
Oh,
2.
it's on a
Yep.
2 that
Yeah.
day. Okay, I
Yep.
didn't look at the schedule yet. Okay.
Yeah, I
It-
was gonna start early voting that day, and then I realized this That's that.
Okay.
They also had to push it, yeah. They must have had a scheduling conflict because they've never had it that late.
Right.
It's 2 weeks later than it normally is.
Okay, just want to
But
make
yeah,
sure.
the last couple of years, we've been done by 1:30, 2 o'clock.
There's usually that one presentation later in the
Yes.
afternoon.
Yep, it
And
ends at
then
2.
it works out good because I have plenty of time to come over and do bills then
Yep.
before our meeting.
I have to go set up early voting.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
so
thank
you're
you.
good with that? Yep.
Yep, I'm good then.
Does anyone have anything else?
Yes. Commissioner Zachmeyer and I were discussing the War Monument last night, getting ready for the next round of presentations for the veteran service organizations, but it's also been made aware that one of the veteran service organizations is ready to make donations supporting the proposed wall. So, Don, the first question is, are we able to receive donated funds and dedicate it for?
I can put it wherever, but the question about receiving funds would be, I'd defer that to
No.
Mr. Copy, but.
Okay.
He's
Here's-
not listening.
Mr. Copy? We have veteran service organizations that are willing to make donations supporting the new war memorial or memorial to those killed during war. Does Morton County have the ability to receive these donations?
Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners, yes.
Okay. So just making sure we got dedicated
Just
ledger
gotta
accounting for it then.
Put it in a certain fund and leave it there, and that's all it can be used for. Okay.
Right. Okay, very good.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, Mr. Chairman, one of the things to also consider, when the state does certain projects, Governor's Mansion comes to mind, even the presidential library in Medora comes to mind. No construction can take place until X number of dollars has been raised. This doesn't have to be decided this meeting, it's just good of the order and for any future visits. Should we be looking at that there's gotta be a certain amount of money raised before we start considering construction? Another question to ask would be, how much money can we get raised? And then when, at what point, because state law does allow this board to use county monies for a war memorial or a veterans memorial. And so one of the questions when the veterans organization called and asked about making a donation, they even mentioned that it would have to go to a vote of their board, but that there is interest in making quarterly donations basically every year. So 4 donations, even if it's at $5,000, it can add up. So at what point would this board be interested in saying we've got X number of dollars, let's start construction? Another one would be breaking the whole project into phases. Now, right now, there's basically 2 designs that the board likes that would move forward, and the veterans groups would have their input into which design or a combination of the 2 designs they'd want to move forward with. But one of the one thing that was the same in both designs was moving the flagpole out closer to the street and placing it in the area where basically the Veterans Office is currently located, what used to be by the former extension offices. That design is the same, so should at a certain point, then, well, let's start construction and get the new flagpole, move the flagpole out and finish that part, and then should we be doing this project in phases? But that would also be for another meeting, just something to think about for the future. But those are the things that I would see right now. I don't know if Commissioner Morrell would have anything else he would see.
I think it depends kind of on your, which design you choose
Right.
and who's doing that construction.
Right, because that's the other part of the conversation that we had last night as well was, there was two two concepts. Nothing was finalized,
Yep,
just two
nothing.
concepts were presented. And who knows what that final design might end up looking like. Again, I referenced several times on mobility, you can take a concept, and by the time you put the key in the doorknob, you can have two completely different items. But in the same token, I think it would be premature for this body to make any of those determinations, without, number one, identifying what that final concept is going to be. And that final concept needs to come from our veteran community, their input, which is what we're working on. But also, as far as phases, anything like that, same story. It's good conversation. Having X amount of dollar in place before, yeah, that's a standard protocol, but again, that's good conversation. I think all that would definitely have to get hammered out once a final design is achieved and accepted, and the budget is identified, actual costs are identified for those budgets, and we can get solicitations out there, whether it's, partially funded through the county or 100% funded through the donations, time will tell. And whatever that final concept comes into play. But then what we also discussed too was, as we move forward, these input sessions, if you will, is to have a formal committee assembled and they work these pieces and bring it back to the commission.
Basically like the direct air capture, what we're doing there.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I guess, will the commission have some say on what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I guess I think we should be able to.
Yeah, with a
have-
lot of input from
With
the
input,
veterans.
yes, I'm in favor of that,
Majority.
but we want to make sure it fits in with the courthouse as well.
Right.
Yep, which is.
The
Commissioner's
concepts
Act
that are
requires-
presented, and I just had a couple just real random calls today, because I just pushed out the notification letter again, email again last night. So I got a couple of organizations that reached out already, but they really like the concepts, more so because it's opening up, it's enabling gathering, the plaza concept. It's enabling the gathering of people, and that's what they really like. At least the two that I've already talked to today.
Yep.
But yes, having that input, yes. Both sides of that fence.
Okay, does anybody have anything else good for the order?
National 4-H Week
Yep.
Yep, it's National 4-H Week.
And National Fireman's Week.
and National Fireman's Week. And boy, what a week to remember on that one.
Yeah, after last week's fires, I think our burn ban is in perfectly timed. We'll just put it that way.
Yep.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned.